Okay, Joe, your first memories of Tarbert GAA club, growing up as a child in the village?
I was 59, we were the first under 14 that time. It was you're in under 14 league in North Kerry, that's under 12s and under 10s. Henry O'Donnell at and Garda Pat Healy were the two mentors that time. I think our first game was in Ballybunnan against Ballybunnan. Tim Strader ran and about 30 of us inside it.
And can you describe the excitement you had back then as a young fella, just to put on the jersey, and what was the training like back then?
Yeah, the training was only kicking in and out, backs and forwards. You hadn't the intense training that you have now of sprints or long distance or anything. We trained ourselves kind of. But we used to have the old school yard football with Paddy Burns, and down the market in the evening we'd have a bit of training. But as far as the club was concerned, more than all, training didn't exist in the evening like now.
What has the club come to mean to you personally, Joe, in your life? How important has it been?
It was all my life, I suppose. I got stuck into it as a player, and I went into administration, I suppose, fairly young. In 1970, Peter Langan was secretary, and he went away to England, and I was brought in 71. I took over. I think Mike Langan was assistant secretary when Peter went away, and I was elected in 71, and from that until now, I say out of that many years, I've about 28 or 30 years as an officer of the club. Other than that,
and even now this evening, you're going line in the pitch for the county league game tonight. Why would someone still do that?
Well, I always was involved in the field. That was the one part of it. I was stuck in the field all my life, because I suppose we had a tractor and I was able to use it, and I'd be tipping around. But at the present moment now, it's a Shane Sheehan as a field officer, and I'm kind of helping hand to him. So when he'd call, I'll give him a hand, But I'm really involved in the lotto. I'm chairman of the lotto committee. So
how important is the lotto now to a club, especially in the current economic climate? How vital is it?
That's the most important cog now. Without the lotto, we wouldn't exist at all, because it's very hard to try and make money in any other thing. The days of the dances are gone, or the discos, and they're not on anymore. It's just.
And are people still supporting the lotto as good as they would have done maybe 5-10 years ago?
Oh, we have fantastic support now, because the jackpot is high. So when the jackpot gets high, the tickets are easy to sell. The pressure is on when your jackpot is down low, But this parish and the surrounding parish has been very good to Tarbert as far as the lotto is concerned.
Throughout your years with the club, Joe, what would you say has been the greatest day for you personally? Does it come from a match, or does it come from a club achievement? Does it come from something to do with the pitch? What's the one thing that comes to your head if you were asked to name your best moment?
Well, I suppose our best moment would be when we got our own pitch here in the town, and the day it was officially opened in '83 with Kerry and Galway. I think that was the best day in the history of Tarbert. Your own pitch, your own dressing rooms. They mightn't have been very big, but we had it, and we had a small stand, and here we had Kerry and Galway playing in it. And then in '84 we had the first North Kerry Championship final, my van and Beale here. And it was centenary year, and then we got the 2000 one, again North Kerry final, the Millennium. So we had the centenary and Millennium North Kerry finals in Tarbert, which was great, I think.
Now, Joe, you will be well known throughout the county as a referee, and involved in refereeing, and involved in the organisation of the refereeing structure in the country. People say it's a thankless job, but still, without referees, there can be no games. How do you think referees are treated in the modern era of football compared to in the past?
Well, I suppose in the past, you refereed your match and there was nothing heard about it, only you went to the board. You referee now and you have to deal with media, television and papers and everything, and the way it is going at the present moment, a big thing can be made out of it. But overall, as far as I'm concerned in the county, we have more referees now than we ever had. We don't seem to have any problem in recruiting. We recruited 62 new referees again in the county this year. And the standard mightn't be to the height that everyone wants it, but I think the standard refereeing in Kerry is as good as it ever was.
From a national perspective, as you say, a lot of media pressure now on referees, a lot of newspaper pressure, but more than that, more Sunday game, TV pressure. How do you feel about referees being asked to look at different decisions that they might have dealt with on the day and then been asked to look at them again the following morning. Is that gone too far for referees?
Certainly. I think that we'll take the last game now in Páirc Kiev. Pat McInerney was is supposedly the best referee in Ireland. He was brought down to referee his match with his umpires and his linesmen, and he did the job on the day. And I know if it was me anyway, if they asked me, I say I came and I did my job and I'm satisfied with what I did. I'm not looking at anything. But of course these fellas, you know, are looking for another All Ireland, and that's why they are.
Yeah, like
the pressure is on him too, you see.
Pat McInerney was probably told, review this incident and change your mind, or else you might get no more games for the rest of the year.
It could happen that way, but I'm not really sure whether it is or not, but it could happen. You know, there's a lot of pressure now from fellas in Croke Park that there is fellas over committees now that we'll say the referees committee anyway, over the last couple of years, they never refereed a match, so they kick ball all right, but they never refereed matches.
Is refereeing enjoyable?
I'd start all over again, and it is my 41st year. It is very enjoyable for the people that will learn the rules and be fit and go out and enjoy it. But for there's a number of paper referees as well, they're only there to save their club €40 fine if they don't turn out on a given weekend.
Finally, back to Tarbert, Joe. Looking at the future of the club, you see a lot of underage, you see senior football, you see the way the grassroots is developing. Where do you see Tarbert in the next 5 or 10 years as a club? Are they getting stronger?
Looking at the underage, I have no worry about Tarbert. That underage, the structure is great here. We had a game under 14 game the other night against Ballydonoghue, and that Ballydonoghue team won the under 12s county 2 years ago, and Tarbert beat him. It was an exceptionally good game, and there's exceptionally good players. But of course, you know yourself, immigration plays a big role. If we could get work going on here, I'd have no fear of Tarbert. Tarbert football will be on a solid feet for a long time, I think, with the young fellas, and especially the fellas that's over them. You see, you have the likes of the Doherty from Barry Longford now. You have Eamon Stack from my van. You know, the likes of those people coming in, they have sons playing here now, and they're from outside parishes. And ask them, and they'll tell you that the Tarbert football and Tarbert Born and Oak structure is wonderful, you know.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Joe.
You're welcome, John.